Are Jameis Winston's days as a starting quarterback officially over?
I do think they are. And I think the reason you see so many other backup quarterbacks who are not very good paid more than him, it's not the upside. That people know Winston has big upside. As a backup, you could put him in. Maybe he can win some games for you, instead of giving the game away. But how can you rely on a guy? It's not like he wasn't playing for for a great coach. How can you rely on, with weapons, how can you rely on a guy who throws 30 interceptions, gives 112 points to the other team? So he's going to have to earn that chance to be a starter. And then I suspect he's going to get a pretty quick hook if he starts throwing interceptions. And given his game, and this goes back to college, for as many spectacular things that he does spectacular things for the other team too. And I don't mean like he'll never start another game. I mean sustain at least a full season as someone's starter. I don't see it.
Well, I disagree with you. I think he has a chance to be a starter. I think, number one, by default, Max, because I think there are a few questionable quarterbacks in the National Football League who are starting for respective teams. I think there's a few teams that are looking for a legitimate starter. Secondly, throwing that 30 interceptions, we all know how I feel about Jameis Winston, how he should be the Defensive Player of the Year because of those 30 interceptions from a quarterback position. But he also threw for 5,100 yards plus and 33 touchdowns. And I think that you can't ignore that. Thirdly, I think that he's learned from the error of his ways. I actually think that he's a much, much better person, and he should be given the benefit of the doubt in that regard. Humility ultimately can drape us all. Let's give him an opportunity to showcase that. And last but not least, I cannot emphasize enough what a fan I am of Drew Brees. I'm not talking about just the greatness of Drew Brees as a quarterback. I'm talking about as a person. He's a leader. He's highly intelligent. He knows the game of football inside and out. And he's the kind of guy capable of making you want to listen to him. He has that kind of personality and that kind of effect on people. And I think Jameis Winston being around that can be the sponge that he needs to be and learn how to be so much better in so many ways as a quarterback and as a person playing behind Drew Brees. And I think Jameis Winston will benefit from that.
I like the Brees point. I don't know if that saves his career, but I like that point. And Stephen A., you made a good point before that. Guys like, Jim Thorpe, Deion Sanders, great two-way players. Why can't Jameis Winston also one day be in the Hall of Fame as a great two-way player? 30 touchdowns for your team and the other team. That's one of the great two-way players of all time.
All right, let me give you this really quick. You're unbelievable. Our fan tweet of the day, this is from Flights No Fields. Who does Jameis benefit more from? Is it Sean Payton or Drew Brees, Stephen A.?
Drew Brees, for the reasons that I just articulated. I respect profoundly Sean Payton. Don't get me wrong, but it's Drew Brees and his direct personal relationship with Jameis that I believe he will develop that is going to take the reins.
Max?
We agree about that. I say it's Brees only because Jameis Winston's had coaching and weapons in the past and has not been great, but he hasn't been the understudy to a future Hall of Famer who's still great and willing to mentor. That's what he's got now.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.